Hey, you guys, thanks for listening into this episode of Tips with T. On today, we're going to be talking about budgeting made simple, how to create and stick to a budget that works for your lifestyle. Um, Sometimes in order for us to be able to get out of debt and to save and to do the things that we want to do in life, we need to create a budget. And this is one thing that I teach on when it comes to my clients. This is one thing I teach on when it comes to my students, that you need to create a budget. You need to see where your money is going. So, budgeting doesn't have to feel overwhelming or restrictive. It's a tool that helps you take control of your money, align your spending with your priorities, and achieve financial success. So, in this episode, we'll break down how to create a simple budget that fits your lifestyle and share practical tips to stick to it, and discuss how a budget for specific financial goals like travel, home ownership, retirement, side hustles, and debt repayment. Okay. So we're going to talk about why a budget is so important. A lot of people don't think a budget is important, but it is important. Um, a budget helps you control where your money goes instead of wondering where it went. I don't know if any of you guys have been like that. Y'all might sit up here and y'all be like, "Where did my money go? I just got paid and my money's gone." You need to create a budget, okay? You need to create a budget. It allows you to prioritize financial goals while still enjoying your life. It reduces financial stress and prevent living from paycheck to paycheck. So we're going to talk about 4 steps on how to create a budget that works for you. Okay, step one, you want to calculate your income. So include all sources, salary, side hustles, and passive income. And then you want to use your after tax income for a realistic budget. All right. Step two, you want to track your expenses. You want to review past bank statements to identify spending habits. You want to categorize into um, in a fixed category and a variable category. So your fixed category will be your things like your rent and your car payment. Those are fixed things, fixed amounts that are going to be the same amount each month. Variable categories are going to be things like groceries and entertainment. Okay. Because those things, they tend to fluctuate. And then step three, you want to choose a budgeting method that fits your lifestyle. So there's several budgeting methods, okay, that's out there. One that I talk very highly about is the 50-30-20 rule. 50% your needs, 30% your wants, 20% your savings and debt repayment. All right. Then there's the zero-based budget, which aligns every dollar to a category to maximize um, efficiency. And then there's the envelope system, which is a cash-based budgeting for better spending control. I've been seeing a lot of that lately, how people been on like TikTok and Instagram and they get these little folders and they put cash in there and save, and that's their budget. And then pay yourself first. So prioritize saving before spending. Okay. Step four is adjust your personal goals and lifestyle. So if you love dining out, allocate funds for it instead of cutting it out completely. Make a budget flexible so you don't feel deprived. All right. With me, I'll just scale back. Me, I feel like I would just, well, I feel like I have. I eat out every now and again, but I mostly cook my meals at home. I found out cooking at home is more cheaper for me than eating out. Reason being is that I don't eat a lot at one time. I tend to eat smaller portions. So if I just cook my meals at home and eat my smaller portions at home, I don't have to worry about wasting food. I don't have to worry about wasting money. So, but to each his own. Okay. There are tips for sticking to your budget, and we're going to talk about some tips. So, one of the tips is you can automate savings and bills. So, set up automated transfers to savings account. Um, you also, I would say, set up automated, and I say savings and bills and for savings and bills, but you need to automate your bills that can be automated out of account. So this is what I tell my clients. You need to have a checkings and you need to have a savings. And I tell them they need to have really two checkings and one savings. The savings account is going to be for the money that you're saving, of course. One checking account It's going to be allocated just to pay bills. The other checking account is going to be where you can have money where you want to put to the side to budget yourself. Like if you want to say, for instance, if you want to put yourself on a budget, okay, well, this checkings account is where um I'm going to put myself on a budget and I'm going to allocate and I'm going to spend this each month according to my budget. That's how I teach my clients to do it. It tends to work for them. But if you can automate savings and bills, lifesaver. Using budgeting apps. So you want to track spending in real time. Review and adjust monthly. So life changes. So should your budget. So your life changes. So should your budget. Prepare for irregular expenses. So set aside money for yearly bills, car maintenance, and holidays. All right. Set money aside. Um, Definitely set money aside too for your emergency fund. Be realistic about be realistic and kind to yourself. If you overspend, adjust and keep moving forward. All right. Um, Budgeting for specific financial goals. For instance, budgeting for travel. This is some tips when you want to budget for travel. You can open a dedicated travel savings account. You can use cashback rewards and travel points to save on flights and hotels. I do that often. You can set up monthly automatic transfers to your travel fund. So that's the way that you can save and budget on travel. But me, like I said, I use the travel and rewards points. So whenever I accumulate points or whatever, and I'm going somewhere, I use those points to help me when I'm traveling. Budgeting for home ownership. So you want to save for a down payment. The goal is for 10 to 20% of the home price. You want to make sure you have that somewhere saved. You want to budget for closing costs and home maintenance. And then you want to improve your credit score to secure lower mortgage rates. That's how you can budget for home ownership. Budgeting for retirement. You can start contributing to a 401k or an IRA as early as possible. If your employer offers a 401k match, contribute at least enough to get the full match. And then increase contributions gradually as your income grows. So as your income grows, you want to actually also um increase how much you are contributing to those type of retirement plans. Budgeting for side hustles. You have to budget for your side hustles. Separate business from personal finances. I tell people this all the time when they come through my webinars. You want to have a dedicated business account, a dedicated business account, and a business savings account. You should not be mixing and mingling the two. You're gonna get confused when it comes time to do your taxes. Then you're gonna be all over the place and stress, and then you're gonna have your tax professional stress trying to figure out what you've been doing and how you've been functioning and trying to get everything together so you can submit your taxes to the IRS. So make sure you're keeping those things separate. Track income and expenses. So use apps like QuickBooks or Wave. You want to reinvest profits wisely, so prioritize expenses that grow your business. And then you want to set aside money for taxes. Estimate and save for self-employment taxes. So again, that's why I tell my clients they need to have a business savings account too as well, so they can put that money in that account towards possible taxes that they might have to spend. Budgeting for debt repayment. So in the last episode, we talked about good versus bad debt, but we could budget. You can set a budget for those type of debt. So you can choose a debt repayment strategy. Again, I talked about the snowball method and the avalanche method. So the snowball method is paying off the smallest debt first for motivation, and then the avalanche method is paying off the highest interest debt first to save money. Avoid adding new debt, so stick to your budget to prevent future financial strain, and negotiate lower interest rates on credit cards or refinance loans if possible. Okay, and so there are some best budgeting tools and apps that you guys can use. I mentioned a few of them, but we're going to go over some more. So one is called Mint, which tracks spending and categorize expenses automatically. Then there's one that is You Need a Budget, which is zero-based budgeting tool for complete financial control. Every Dollar, is simple budgeting for beginners. Good Budget, digital envelope system for cash style budgeting. And Rocket Money finds and cancels unwanted subscriptions. I had a couple of clients that said Rocket Money was very helpful for them because they didn't know they had so many subscriptions out there, and they were able to cancel subscriptions and save money. So of course, you guys, I got to give you some takeaways. I got to give you some takeaways. So some takeaways, make sure that you choose a budgeting method that fits your lifestyle. Okay. And then track your expenses for the next 30 days to see where your money is going and set up an automatic savings transfer towards a financial goal. Okay. Make sure you're doing these things. Um, I would definitely say if you are finding issues with budgeting, if you are finding issues with overspending, maybe you need to readjust and say, hey, am I living above my means? Because I have a lot of people who try to live above their means, who try to keep up with the Joneses, who try to keep up with the Jetsons and or the Jeffersons, and it's not working for them, right? And so we have to sometimes take a step back and say, hey, I'm living above my means. And then when you get a control of, okay, I need to live below my means. And living below your means, you guys, can really, really help when it comes to creating budgeting, saving money, freeing up money so you can pay off debt, things of that nature. I try to live bare minimum as possible when it comes to different things because I know that I want to be able to save. I don't want to live above my means, right? And so keep those type of things in mind. Um, if you don't need that Birkin bag, leave that Birkin bag where it's at. If you might want to get a Michael Kors bag or a Coach bag, things of that nature, or find different ways where you can shop on a budget and you can find what you really want, whether it's luxury items and things that are in your price range. Completely fine. But make sure that you're not living above your means and trying to keep up with everybody else, okay? Because keeping up with everybody else will cause you to go into debt. And we don't want that. So budgeting is about freedom, not restrictions. It helps you to spend on what truly matters, and then small changes over time can lead to financial success. So, um, you guys, I hope this episode was very helpful to you. If you know someone that is struggling with budgeting, or they know they need to get on the budget, send them this episode. Hopefully, it will help them improve their money management. If you are looking for someone to help you create your own personal budget for yourself, for your business, um, I'm free. I mean, I'm here to help. I'm not free. I am here to help. My number is 910-317-0396. You can also shoot me an email at contact@njfinancial.biz. Also, I have a financial planner that you guys might want to purchase through PayHip. It's on sale right now. And it has a budget in there. It has different ways on how to use different things to pay off debt. So make sure you cop that. Make sure you go get it. The link should be in the show notes. Okay. So do what you guys need to do in order to budget. Say we are in a season where we need to be budgeting, where we need to be saving, where we need to be paying off debt. Okay. Because inflation and stuff is high. Inflation might not get no better with these tariffs and stuff that are coming, or these trade wars, I would say. So make sure you guys are preparing yourself to be financially stable despite what's going on in the economy. Okay. So thank you guys for listening to this episode of Tips with T. I hope that was very, very helpful to you guys, and I will see you in the next episode of Tips with T.